Hey guys, it's me, Misha, and I'm back with another book. This one is book 2 in the Blood Curse series by Tessa, and it's called Blood Awakening. This is one of my favorite series. It is a paranormal romance book about vampires. And I know some of you are probably like, vampires are kind of played out. But if you get into the books, I don't think they ever could be played out because there are tons and tons and tons of books on vampires and wolves and things like that. But I digress. I like to ramble a bit. So let's get into this book and the psychology and how it can apply to our lives in Blood Awakening by Tessa. Just to give you a brief history of the blood curse. There were two brothers, Jaden and Jager, who were the princes of this ancient Romanian culture. And Jager became power hungry, in which case he ended up slaughtering and sacrificing all of the females of his people, to the point that they became extinct. And what happened is the blood of the victims, the blood of these females, became enraged upon the death of the last female, and they cursed Jaden and Jager and all of their descendants by making them vampire. All right. So Jaden decided that he was going to beg for mercy. Jager decided he wasn't going to do anything. So Jager took on the punishment of the full curse, whereas Jaden was able to get several mercies that were added to his people and his descendants. So the blood curse ends up affecting all of the descendants, in which case all of the males have a 30-day window upon the time that starts when they reach or when they meet their destiny, their potential love interest. So when they meet, they have 30 days for the two of them to fall in love with each other, basically get married, consent to being mates, and give birth to a child. Technically, they're giving birth to 2 children, and it's not a spoiler if you've already read Blood Destiny. One of the children is a son of Jager. It is a dark one. Okay, so that son is able to be sacrificed to the blood, and the good one, or the son of Jaden, is able to be kept. Okay, so now we've kind of caught you up a bit. Let's get into Blood Awakening. Blood Awakening is Marquis's book. And again, those of you that have read the book, you know what Marquis is like. Marquis is that big, tough, macho, ancient warrior, ancient master warrior who's going to do things one way, and he's very, very gruff and tough on the outside, okay? And I know a lot of people have that old, stereotype in their head where you see all this huge, big guy who's muscular and tough and whatnot. He's probably a teddy bear on the inside. That is definitely not Marquis. Marquis is just as tough on the inside. But Marquis has also had to deal with the weight of taking care of his siblings and becoming the father figure, for lack of better words, or the leader, okay, of their family when their father disappeared. All right. So Marquis has the rough personality, the one with all the pinpricks where everyone else just they deal with it because they know that he is the head of the family. Siapori is this ancient princess who comes back. Basically, she was buried under the earth, and she comes back upon hearing his plea, basically. They kind of have this connection where they were dreaming of each other and whatnot, so clearly there's a love interest. And this holds true to that old saying that there's someone out there for everyone. Everyone out there has a person that will just click with them, that will just connect with them, that will be able to understand them, compliment them, things like that. Now, that gives us hope that there's somebody out there for us, but it also can drive us crazy because it's like, well, who is that person? How do we find that person? When am I going to know that I met that person? Da 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 da. What happened if I already lost that person? All of those things come into play and they drive us crazy. So, first thing, let's slow down a bit and just focus on the one thing. All right? Let's focus on the fact that there's someone out there for us. Now, how can blood awakening help us to understand our partner? Understanding your partner means that you've gone through the conversations, you've gone through your checklist, okay, of things that you can accept and the things that you can't accept. You have been honest with yourself and with your partner. You told that person. So when everyone else is looking at them as this gruff person, like, oh my God, I don't know how you're dealing with this person, you're looking at it as, it's really not that big of a deal, because those things don't bother you. You know what to say to calm that person down, what to say to encourage them, what to say or what to do. Maybe that just little touch calms them down. Now, keep in mind, this is not about helping you to control the other person's emotions and their mindset. No, everyone is responsible for their own actions. But that doesn't mean we can't compliment or encourage or support the other one. I think that we need to kind of break away from the concept of thinking that, oh, I'm going to control this person. Oh, I'm going to control that person. No. If you have that mentality or you even feel that in a relationship, that's not a healthy relationship, okay? And again, I'm not a counselor, but I can only speak from a place of experience of what I've gone through, okay? My husband and I, some people would say we are the complete opposite, okay? Some people will sit and tell you, you know what? Michelle's the perfect person for you because she's the only one that can control you. Others will say the same thing about my husband. Darwin, you are the perfect person for Michelle. You're the only one that can control her. The thing is, we're not controlling each other. We just understand each other. I understand what drives him. I understand what has sparked all of his emotions. I understand what he's gone through, so why he feels this way, why he would interpret things that way. He does that for me. He knows where I came from. He knows what I've experienced. So he understands how I think. So when things happen, when we come across different situations in life, especially the wonderful, challenging ones, we know exactly what the other person is going to think, what the other person is going to feel, why they're thinking that way, and what this is the most significant part, what they need to hear to help them and you as a couple to get through it. Stop and think. And please remember, every time a life challenge comes along or a situation occurs in life, there are 3 entities that are dealing with that challenge, okay? There's you, your partner, and then the 2 of you as a couple, all right? It is not just you're dealing with this or he's dealing with this. No, each of you are going to learn something different from it. Each of you is going to learn something different from it. Each of you is going to bring something different. And let me rephrase that. Each of you is going to experience it and perceive it in one way. Each of you will have a different perception or different analysis based on your perception that you're going to bring. All right? And each of you is going to bring possibly different solutions. And it's the 2 of you together, and which solution you create together as a couple, that couple together is what is going to face that challenge, face that situation, and deal with it. All right? So when you're in relationships, you have to understand that. And I think sometimes, probably more times than not, we're in situations where we look at them autonomously. Okay? We're looking at them selfishly. We're looking at them myopically. All right? And those things is what causes a relationship to start to go down the wrong road. Okay? I'm sure a lot of us have kind of heard the phrase that you have to, you need to deposit things in that love bank. I don't know, honestly, which psychologist or whoever it was that invented that phrase, but that is such a true analysis or a true perception of how life is, how romance is, okay? If you don't make deposits into that love bank, when it's time for you to withdraw, it's going to bounce, all right? And you can't keep track of it in a sense of, okay, I remember I did this for him, so I'm going to write that down. He did this for me, so I'm going to write that down. It's not like that at all, all right? Because maybe that one thing that he did for you, that deposit was like, in your mind, touching those emotions, maybe worth $1 million. Whereas the thing that you did for him, in his mind, he's probably thinking this is priceless. Okay? And that's just an example. We can't put a dollar amount on those feelings. So keep that in mind when you're making your deposits. Make your deposits, make your withdrawals. But make sure you're also putting back. That's also how that understanding your mate comes into play. All right? The more conversations that you have, the more times that you reminisce together, the more times that you're sharing your experiences and your opinions and your thoughts with each other when you hear the news or you're telling each other about your day. All of those things are how you make deposits into that love bank. All of those are how you build that connection between the two of you, so that when a situation occurs, you understand your mate and you know exactly what they need to get through it. Just remember, providing someone what they need is not controlling them, it's supporting them. Okay, so getting down to the rating, Blood Awakening, again, I love this series, so keep in mind I am a bit biased because I do love the series. But I definitely have to say that this book was a wow factor for me, because there were a couple of twists and turns that you just swore up and down, all right, that this was going to happen and something different happened, all right. It was a very good book. I love the storyline that Tessa put into this, as how she was able to get the two together. But the fact that she keeps putting these books out, it's just amazing. She definitely has my vote. She's one of my favorite authors, okay? So if you get a chance, please read Blood Awakening by Tessa Dawn. She is definitely one of my favorite authors, all right? And if you get a chance, look for my upcoming video on Blood Possession. That is book 3 in the Blood series. In the Blood Curse series, I should say. All right. Bye, guys.